Thanks a lot, Victor Howell. Our very own Deuce McAllister joins us from Soldier Field. Boy, a gritty game for the New Orleans Saints. This went back and forth, and not the prettiest football game offensively for the Saints, but they get it done, and winning teams get it done, Deuce.
Well, winning teams get it done, but it battle tests you. I think that's what 3 games in a row that you win by 3 points, and you're on a 4-game winning streak. It's just it makes you shake your head and say, hey, look, you're finding ways to win, but you wish you would quit hurting yourself as well in some of those situations, whether it's a holding call, whether it's giving up a big explosive play, or even just third and long, allowing them to make some of those completions. You do leave Chicago with a victory, which was the most important things, but I think was a lot closer than it should have been.
I was thinking for a while that may be the first tie in Saints history since 1972. I mean, it was going that way in overtime, but Will Lutz gets to atone for an earlier miss. And talking to Drew Brees, he said the elements really didn't bother this football team, but maybe the kicking game. Will Lutz hadn't missed a field goal since October, but for the kickers, this isn't any fun, especially when you're not used to it. The first outdoor game for the Saints all year so far.
So much you talk about it not just being on the snap the whole, but it's the operation, and then you want to try to overcompensate to make sure that you are kicking it the right way, get enough lift on it, get enough power on it, and you just missed that first one, and then normally a 29-yard, that's nothing for Will Lutz, but he just missed it and it hits the upright, and it just doesn't get the bounce that he needs. Actually, in warm-ups, he hit the other upright and it kicked in on that same end.
Really?
So, just an unfortunate bounce. Yeah, just unfortunate bounce for him, but he does come through for you in overtime like you needed. And, there was no doubt about it, particularly if he gets the kickoff, you felt like he was going to hit it.
I know this offense didn't want to have Will Lutz kick all the field goals. They settled for a lot of field goals, but third down, huge difference. So we could go 12 of 14, this time around 2 of 13, Deuce. I mean, was it the elements? I mean, what was the difference in this game?
I think it goes back to when those third down were. The Saints had to win at their back during the second and fourth quarter. In the first and third quarter, you knew it was going to be tough. And even some of the play calls that they put themselves in, I thought they did a lot better job in the second, even the fourth quarter, in overtime of gaining positive yards on first down. I mean, anytime they were +5, +7, +8 on first down, obviously, it doesn't take a lot to be able to convert from that standpoint. But when they only gained 1 yard or 2 yard on first down, you knew that Bears front could get after you. And so, really in the red zone and even on third down, that's where you missed the Michael Thomas. That's where you missed Emmanuel Sanders and Callaway. And hopefully, knock on wood, you get some of those guys back for next week. I mean, because you'll play a similar type defense against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have playmakers all across the board, and it's guys that can make plays.
Deuce, you've seen a lot of football. A highlight that's going to get a lot of attention in this game is the cheap shot Javon Wims put on Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Like I said, you've seen a lot. You ever seen a cheap shot that blatant in a football game?
Well, I hadn't seen it that blatant, but it's really the play before that Wims is trying to take up for his teammate Miller. He's out there. Chauncey kind of is going back and forth with him, and he pokes him, and so Wims comes back. Chauncey wasn't even guarding him on the play that he goes and he pokes Chauncey, tries to knock his mouthpiece out. Then he takes the 2 swings at him, and it's like, what are you doing? That's something that you see in practice. You rarely ever see that. That takes me back to Finnegan and Andre Johnson. At least those two. At least Finnegan was guarding Andre Johnson in that particular situation, but never, a player that's not even guarding you, and you go up from behind him and you kind of do that situation. And, from that point on, it really looked like that Saints defense as well as team really just wakes up because the next play is an interception by Lattimore.
Which leads us to next week. The players get to enjoy this victory, but we got to look at next week. I mean, they play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bucs fan base hasn't been this excited about the Bucs in a long, long time since they won a Super Bowl in 2002. Breeze passes Tom Brady. They're going to go back and forth all year. I know he's not playing Brady, but boy, this is going to be a great matchup. And how do you see this game right now, just based on what you've seen from this Saints team so far this year?
A much anticipated matchup, and if the Saints defensive line can't get pressure on Brady, then it's going to spell for a long day. I think from a defensive standpoint, the Saints have to do something different. It's tough to play the safeties on some of those receivers like we've been able to do. Tampa Bay has legitimate wide receivers that can put a lot of stress on you. So I would be surprised if we don't go with a true nickel guy as far as a corner in some of those situations. But I mean, it's just going to be a knockdown, and who can create turnovers, who can win in the special teams games. I think that's going to be able to be one of the breaking points. I mean, because both of those defense, they don't give up a lot of yards running the football, so you don't figure that you'll have a lot of luck there. You have to be able to run the football, but who can hit the quarterback? Can the Saints generate pressure with their front four? Because the Bucs have been able to generate pressure with their front four.